Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News, and we have a Bachelorette recap we're going to get to. Charity Lawson is off to Fantasy Suites, but first we have to get through hometowns. Her top four, I've got notes. We're going to read them back to you, and we're going to share them. No edits, no jump cuts. Do me a solid. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. If you want any stand-up show dates, I will be performing August 17th in Huntington Beach and August 24th in Seattle. Links at the Instagram below if you want to buy tickets to those shows. Also, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Yesterday, we had a story about which Bachelor couple is now broken up. It is not public. I'm going to share that with you. We're continuing to talk about it. A lot of people have been asking. We'll talk about that on today's Patreon. Please keep it on the Patreon. That's for the private membership only. And, of course, every afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour. Okay, Charity hopes that hometowns bring her clarity. Clarity for Charity. That's what we can all wish for. Will she get the Charity clarity? We'll have to see. For posterity. Okay, not exactly too early in the morning for poetry. Starting in Houston, Aaron says he's anxious and says it's been 10 years since he's brought a lady home to the family. Aaron mentions that they haven't talked about love yet. Well, why don't you just wait till you propose? You don't need to say love so early. Charity says they are probably the furthest behind. Blame Brayden. It's Brayden's fault. Fried frog legs and gumbo. That's what they do. So here's the hooju, right? She jumps into his arms. We have a nice glute grab, as the boys call it, with a nice little arm straddle. That's why you do that machine at the gym, so you can lock people into your legs there. He's not going anywhere. All right, so here we have it. They did the gumbo. Personally, not a fan of fried frog legs. I know, I studied in France. We're supposed to love the grenouille or whatever it's called, but it's just not for me. Appreciate the cooking, though. Also don't like the fried lobsters. I'm not a crustacean guy. If your skeleton's on the outside, I don't want it. That's just my rule, all right? Not to be shellfish about it. Charity says the taste buds were dancing. Aaron chats with his little brother and says he looks up to him. They have a good family chat, and of course the mom's there doing her thing. We see a sign that says Ethel's Kitchen, keep out. Love a good sassy sign. Ethel ain't gonna take shit from nobody. Not these producers. Not on her watch. Not with gumbo and fried frog legs on the line here. So Ethel asks Charity what she finds attractive about Aaron. She says he's gentle. She also, Charity's like, I like that he snitched on Brayden. We like a good snitch in this family. Loose lips sink ships, right? Loose lips for the fantasy suite. Aiden said this. Okay, so no, she didn't say that. She says he's gentle. Then Dad and Aaron embrace, and he tells Aaron he loves him more than anything, tells him to take his time. We love a good dad, right? We love a good dad being like, take your time. You're in the prime of your youth. And no older person wants you to settle down. Every older person's like, get out there and have fun, boy. Go on and do it. I married your mom when I was young. I didn't get to do my 20s. Have a good time now. All right, so Aaron and Charity do a picnic at a football stadium. He gets Charity her own custom Letterman jacket. And then that's it. What do you think, guys? Was that a good date? I mean, look, people were saying that, and I'm not sure if this is true, that he actually lives in the Carolinas. Do I have that right? And so he didn't actually. Wait. No, maybe we have the wrong. Anyway, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of intermingling with a bunch of friend groups. It was just, I don't know. To me, it seems this whole season just seems faster. So it seems like every date is cut short, or could it just be that this is one of those dates where, she didn't want to waste any time on it because he wasn't sticking around? I don't know, folks. Joey's date, they play tennis. Uncle Joe shows up, doesn't think Joey's really into her. Charity wants to tell Joey she loves him. And, I think it's hard to tell who's into who when the cameras are rolling. Like, what does Uncle Joe know? Maybe he's a little shy, introducing his family to her, or feels like he's going to be judged by his family for doing this silly thing. Who knows? So anyway, they meet Joey's family, and got a good little family there. Charity is giddy. Joey's family seems normal, cute sisters. Get them on the next season of The Bachelor. Make it a whole family affair. Sisters ask if she's falling in love, and he says, without a doubt. He says he's falling in love. Joey's mom is worried that he will get heartbroken. Joey says he doesn't doubt the process. Well, you should. You should doubt the process, Joey. The process sucks. No one lasts. This week, we got 17 different couples breaking up. I need to get all my breakup music queued up for one after the other. Don't trust it at all. you're better off going on Hinge and letting the women do the picking. You know what I mean? Arranged marriages have a higher success. Okay, you get the point. Trust the process. Get out of here. This process is going to lead to heartbreak, Joey. Joey's uncle, Uncle Joe, says Joey might not be ready, and he tells Charity that he was concerned Joey is being who Charity wants, but not who he actually is. Charity says she is confident she's getting the real Joey. May the real Joey please stand up. Please stand up. Charity cries when she leaves, and Joey doesn't know if it's happy tears or sad tears. First time he doesn't feel confident at the exit. Yeah, that's never good if you don't know what the version of the tears are. Hi, I see you're crying. Do you like me or not? I can't. Sometimes it's the same way. I look at my lady and I go, are you upset? And she's like, no, I'm really happy. And I'm like, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell the difference based on your face. So let your face know how you're feeling so that I can know it's not my fault. Okay, so anyway, that's that date. We're just barreling through these dates here. Hopefully the fantasy suites go a little slower. But by the way, look at the food they got there. Nice spread. Nice charcuterie board, right? They have some like waffle cut crackers there. Some hummus. Grapes, strawberries, carrots. I can't tell what this is. Maybe a waffled cucumber. Not really sure. Either way, it looks like they weren't allowed to eat the food. So there they are just sitting patiently waiting to be like, can we get this interview over? I've been eyeing those carrots for a while now. Okie dokie. Bugs Bunny. So let's move it on to the next one. And by the way, if you're in Seattle, August 24th, I have a stand-up show. Huntington Beach, August 17th. These shows, I'm trying to get single people to show up and maybe do a little dating show during the show. Wouldn't that be fun? So if you're single or have a friend who's single who wants to come to the August 24th Seattle show or August 17th Huntington Beach show, come to the show and afterwards we'll hang out and I'll somehow make us all fall in love. All right, Xavier's hometown in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, Xavier was the one that didn't have any friends in Cleveland. My apologies. I saved the comments. Xavier shows off his knitting skills. Charity is excited to see Xavier work with his hands. She's like, "You're pretty nimble with that thimble, my guy. What can you do with other body parts?" Xavier's dad is worried the relationship might be frivolous. His dad says, know your person has your back unconditionally. That's great advice to know that. Xavier's sister says she loves Charity. And then Xavier says his sister doesn't play. Listen, yeah, I hear you. Nobody's sister plays. My sister, if she doesn't like you, you're going to know. Right away. She does not have time for pleasantries. Let me tell you that. My sister will let you know. No time for play. A great endorsement of Charity nonetheless. And then good for them. There's always one date that I don't have many notes on, and that's usually because I was in the kitchen trying to find food, and I'm like, what's going on in there? Who's in love? So anyway, we're going to move it on to the penultimate date. Is that the right word? The last one, the headlining date. Dotun's turn. Charity says, why am I freaking out as she carries roses to Dotun's family? Well, you're freaking out because you care a lot about this guy and you want it to go well and you don't want to mess it up. Dotun's family is super lovable, very lovable family. Hugs all around. Dotun's parents aren't there. They're in Nigeria. And of course, I'm watching this going, I can't believe they didn't fly Charity and Dotun to Nigeria. Maybe that, they didn't do any international travel this season, so maybe that wouldn't be fair. And then boom, all of a sudden, what happens? We look around the corner, Dotun's parents show up. I don't get surprised too often on the show. I know a lot of spoilers. This was truly the most heartwarming. And by the way, how comfortable does his shirt look? Can someone get me that shirt? Can we find out who makes that shirt? I would love. That's a power dad shirt right there. They're not messing around. Style for days, super energetic. When you meet somebody and you meet the parents, you really have to like the parents at least a little bit. You're going to be spending some close quarters. Maybe you're all staying in an Airbnb that doesn't have enough bedrooms in a cabin. Maybe the heat goes out. You need to like the people you're staying with. You know what I mean? Anyway, there they are. They're amazing. What a sacrifice for them to show up. I mean, they literally flew from another continent for this. I'm sure producers were like, hey, you got to be here. This is a big deal. This might be your future daughter-in-law, which, by the way, it would suck if they didn't like her because they're like, we flew across the country for you? But Charity lives up to the bill. She says, we have to tell them what we did together. And I'm like, all right, Charity, be careful. Save some room for the Holy Spirit. Careful, Charity. And then she discusses the bungee jumping. I'm like, oh, that. Okay, I thought you meant like, inviting him back to the room for a little whoopee. Dotun's mom says, if you pick my son, I'll whisk you to Nigeria and give you a nice wedding. And she says she will embrace Charity. Dotun sets up a drive-in movie theater for them. Very nice. Amazing date. And then it's a Charity and Dotun movie. So very good. They look cold. Are they cold? You can't really tell there. Put the heat on. No. Very nice. And then that's the end of that date. So very heartwarming date there. Charity sits down with Jesse before she has to eliminate someone. She says she didn't get clarity. Jesse's like, how did the date go? Did all this flying around get you any closer to your final pick? She's like, no, not at all. Like, I just like all of them now. She admits she's falling in love with 4. And then she says 2 will be heartbroken tonight. And when she said that, I was like, wait, is she going to kick off 2? I don't know. And she goes, whoever I kick off and me. So the rose ceremony happens at an airport hangar. And then Joey tells Jesse he's in love with Charity, and if he doesn't choose her, he will feel crushed and it will suck. And then what do we see here? Aaron gets sent home. So that's where we stand. Xavier, Dotun, and Joey are heading to Fantasy Suites. Shall they choose to forego their rooms, they'll get to maybe hang out in a yurt or some weird Airbnb with Charity. Well, what we know about the Fantasy Suites, out of the 3 dates, 1 gets the royal treatment, 1 gets the funky treatment, and 1 gets ripped off. 1 gets like a tent in the back of in Aldi's or something. All right, we got a tent, and there's a lot of fresh pistachios. It's like, did you just go to Aldi's? Did someone else cancel? We're in a parking lot, and man, we're in an Airstream in the parking lot of an Aldi's. How's that for a fantasy suite? Don't come a knocking. All right, feed the meter, if that's what you call it. That's what the kids call it these days. The old meter maid. Anyway, that's our hometown recap. We'll be back. Look, hey, sometimes I don't feel like I've got much to work with, and I am just trying to squeeze something out of the storyline. But we are approaching the end, and I got a lot of other content today. We have a power apology coming to you from one Nick Vial. I'll have that story. Plus, Special Forces 2 cast list is out. We might have a breaking story of which couple is broken up. I will share it on today's Patreon. I am not above leaking content privately to get money for the private membership community. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. If you want to know which couple is broken up. Plus, we have a lot of other content coming your way. Stick around. We'll be back right after this.